What is your reaction, Nate, to the Nuggets firing both the head coach and the GM?
Well, I think rightfully so. As everybody is, I'm shocked because we are 3 games away from the play-in tournament, which means the playoffs. So why do it now? I think that's the first question. Why now? Well, Nuggets owner Josh Kroenke actually spoke about the timing of it. This is what he had to say about firing head coach Michael Malone. While the timing of this decision is unfortunate, as Coach Malone helped build the foundation of our now championship-level program, it is a necessary step to compete at the highest level right now. Championship-level standards and expectations remain in place for the current season, and as we look to the future, we look forward to building on the foundations laid by Coach Malone over his record-breaking 10-year career in Denver. But still, why fire him? I understand your defense is bad, and it's actually the worst defensive rating in your franchise's history, but the struggles could be just based on the fact that your second-best player has been out for the past 5 games due to a hamstring injury. That very well could be it. The fact that the biggest part of your championship-winning team was your amount of depth, and those key pieces you had to let go for contract purposes. And also, I think part of this does fall on the head coach, Michael Malone, because if we take a look at some of the players' comments on their recent struggles, it's kind of concerning. This was Nikola Jokic and Russell Westbrook on the struggles for the team. Nikola Jokic goes, I don't know, maybe I don't know actually. I don't know what's concerning. Russell Westbrook goes, I don't know, man, not sure. That's a little bit concerning when your own players don't know what the hell is exactly going on. I do know one thing. It is definitely not because Nikola Jokic, in my opinion, the most valuable player in the NBA, is struggling. In fact, he sat out one of the games, but in their 4-game skid, he played 3 of them. The last 3 games, Nikola Jokic has been averaging 45 points a game. He's been incredible. 12.3 rebounds per game, 10 assists, field goal percentage of 62, and a three-point percentage of 44.8. And they're 0-3. Because I think this goes down to philosophy. Michael Malone is very much an old-time coach. Trust in your veteran players. You don't have a lot of faith in your younger players, which that's what the GM, Calvin Booth, actually wanted to do, which is get more of those younger guys out there. And I can understand why there's a bit of a rift there. Now, first things first, Chris Broussard spoke on this, and what he was told is, first of all, this is not a Jokic hates Michael Malone kind of a thing. In fact, what he heard is Jokic has a lot of praise for Michael Malone. And the fact, here's one of the maybe rifts between him and the rest of the players was, Malone's a very old school head coach, which supposedly rubs some players the wrong way. And the entire situation surrounding Denver, Malone, and Booth, it was a very toxic atmosphere. And supposedly, all the reports are, Michael Malone and Calvin Booth weren't even speaking to each other. So that's a massive issue. And apparently that created a bit of a, like Broussard mentioned, a toxic atmosphere clouding the Denver locker room. So the fact that not a single player really has an answer for why they're struggling, although you could take a look at some of these games and say defensive breakdowns, not a lot of effort down low in the paint. That Pacers game was a complete embarrassment. You have Obi Toppin hitting 3 after 3 after 3 in the second and third quarters when he's not a tremendous, great player all around. We saw him with the New York Knicks. I like him a lot as a player, but he's not a guy who should be hitting 5, 6 threes in a game. He's more of an athletic dunking kind of a guy, and obviously his game develops, but Christian Brown has come onto the scene, and he's been very, very good. I do think some of the struggles are you didn't have your second best player. And when your team relies heavily on your star players to at least be available, and the number 2 guy isn't even there, I can understand why you're struggling a little bit. But Nikola Jokic averaging 30 points, a game this season, 10 assists, 12 rebounds, having his statistical best season of his entire career. And this was crazy. Shooting 41.5% from 3, and he's playing, in my opinion, at the number 1 MVP level. I know SGA is currently a pretty big favorite, but in my opinion, if we're talking about just best, most valuable player, that's Nikola Jokic. So, yeah, to me, I can understand. I'm shocked at the timing, as everybody is, and we could call it unprecedented, but we just saw, what was it, last week? 2 weeks ago? The Grizzlies just fired their head coach. So this is ridiculous. The timing of it, it's not like the Nuggets are out of the playoffs or they're struggling. They have a winning record. They're currently 4th in the Western Conference and only a game and a half out of 3rd place. Where the Lakers, they might bench some of their guys for tonight's game against OKC, which then gives the Denver Nuggets an ability to at least gain some ground on them. So to me, this is utterly ridiculous. You fire the winningest coach in your franchise's history over what? A 4-game losing streak? We see coaches out here losing 10 games, 8 games, 7 games, and they're okay. But Michael Malone, 10 years with the organization, the winningest coach, the coach that brought you, first of all, your first sweep in the postseason. They never did that before Michael Malone. And your first championship win. It makes utterly no sense. And I can understand why the entire NBA world is shocked that Michael Malone, 3 days before the playoffs start, now's the decision. Josh Kroenke's like, you know what? Yeah, he's gone. He's out of here to get some sort of a boost for your team. Utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I'm shocked by it too, and I think it's the wrong thing to do, as you do. I mean, they are 47-32. They're fourth in the standings right now. They have a 4-game losing streak. But as you mentioned, one of the top 2 players, Jamal Murray, is hurt with a hamstring injury. They need him badly. They're 3-7 over the past 10 games. There's a talk that Malone has lost the locker room. They're 20th in defensive efficiency. There's danger of them slipping into the play-in tournament if they lose these 3 games. They have the Kings, the Grizzlies, and the Rockets left. Seems though they ought to win, probably could win 2 out of those 3 games. So, and as you say, the Lakers are resting some of their players. They have a chance to perhaps move up. Why not have a little confidence in a coach that is your winningest coach in franchise history over 10 seasons? He has an NBA championship, a 471 win to 327 loss record. Over the past 5 seasons, the Nuggets have been among the best teams in the NBA. Just 2 years ago, they won the championship. Malone, I think he, as you say, he's an old-style coach. They did lose a lot of depth after the 2023 championship win because of contract issues. That's affected them. He is a volatile guy. At one of the games, even a game they won, he took the stat sheet, crumbled it up, and threw it off the stage. And he criticizes other coaches being fired, principally Mike Brown by the Kings. He has a lot to say. He's not afraid to say how he feels. I think it's an emotional thing. I think the Nuggets leadership acted irrationally and emotionally, firing a coach that's brought them a lot of success. He learned the right, I think, to coach the team through the playoffs. Who knows? They could pick it up. They're going to get in. They're going to get in, even if it was in the play-in. They still have some games to play. They'll have Murray back by then. They might make a run. I mean, backs against the wall. Some teams step up in that. Who knows? So I definitely think it was a mistake. The GM, I don't know. I mean, Malone and the GM don't get along. Well, you can fire the GM. That wouldn't make much difference at this point in the season. But the head coach, I don't get it.
I'll say this right now. First off, supposedly, all the reports, Charania reported that it looks like the Nuggets and probably Josh Kroenke, he was going to side between Malone and Booth anyway at the end of the year. And supposedly, if the Nuggets didn't win the 2023 championship, Malone was going to be canned anyway. So it seems like Malone has been on very, very thin ice for several years now. Which again,
winning the championship. Why would you be on thin ice when you just won the championship?
Exactly, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
And why would you be on thin ice when you got them back to the playoffs? I think they were 2nd seed last year when you lost all your depth. I said the guy's done a fantastic job. He'll get a job very quickly.
Absolutely.
He's going to get a job
100%.
very quickly. He's a relatively young guy. He's only in his early 50s.
I'll say that you're heavily reliant upon your star players. So Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., obviously Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray. But if you also add Russell Westbrook onto that scene, every single one of those players is having their worst defensive performance of their entire careers. Jokic, Russ has been around the league for, over a decade, well over a decade at this point. He's having his worst defensive season so far. Michael Porter Jr., he's having his worst defensive season. Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic. All these guys are key people on your team. And Russell Westbrook, when he first moved there, I said that this was actually a really good pickup because he brings energy to the bench. Well, the bench is so thin and the bench is so inexperienced that it's really Russ being that key playmaker, and everybody else just has to kind of just fill in. Against the Pacers, I mean, there were a lot of defensive breakdowns, wide open, down low in the post, easy layups. Just there was one play, I'm forgetting exactly what the timing of it is, but sometime I believe it was in the 2nd or 3rd quarter. Nobody was getting back on defense. Wide open layup, transition layup. It was embarrassing. And late in the game, 122 to 120, Nikola Jokic has the ball. Christian Brown's trying to figure out his placement of it, and he knocks into Nikola Jokic for a turnover. I mean, the spacing is bad. So obviously, if you're having your worst defensive season of your entire organization's history, that does fall on coaching. But again, you're not out of the playoffs. You have depth, and
you have a decent record.
Right. Some of the depth falls. Most of the depth
you could
probably
move
falls
up.
onto the
You
GM.
could move up a spot before the season's over.
Correct.
Why is the glass half empty? The glass should be half full. There's got to be a bunch of stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. People yelling at one another, a big emotional upset that led to this decision. Which, when you make decisions from emotion at this time in the year, they're generally wrong.
And then now, really, and supposedly this is supposed to be like this big energy boost for the Denver Nuggets. Yeah, fire the winningest coach in your organization's history is supposed to put more faith into these players that they could win. Not a chance. So I mean, we're all saying that the Nuggets are this great team or whatever, and Jamal Murray's supposedly going to be back for the playoffs, or at least he's trying to, that for the first round. How are we so sure they'll even win that series? Their head coach is gone. So I'm a little bit worried entering, because right now they would play the Clippers, and right now I think that game could go 6 or 7 games. And we have to remember last year, a major part of why the Nuggets beat the Lakers in 5 games was because Jamal Murray had buzzer beater after buzzer beater after buzzer beater.
Yeah.
The Lakers were very much in that game, and then it was a 7-game series against the Timberwolves, which ultimately the Denver Nuggets should have beaten them. Yeah. But instead they lost in 7.
Well, I think that it's pretty clear that Jokic can have huge numbers and they don't win.
Correct.
Right? I mean, that's not the way the team is built. He's out there. He's the point. He's the
point center, as you call it.
Point center, right? Yeah. He has huge assists, and when he's scoring big numbers and his assists are down, they're going to lose. They need Murray. They need their full complement. Even when his assist
numbers are up and his stats are up, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that's the sad part.
So it's the complementary players around him that earn them the victories, and without Murray, you can see what's happened. They have 4 losses in a row. They're 3-7 over the last 10. They're not going to go anywhere. So they got to limp along, get him back, hope that they can revitalize themselves in the first round. But now a bomb's dropped on them, and their head coach for the last 10 years is gone. It's ridiculous.
It is. And Nikola Jokic has had 7 games of 41 points or more. Give me the Nuggets' record in those 7 games.
7 games and 41 points or more?
Yeah.
2 and 5.
8. Excuse me, 8. 8 games of 41 points or more.
3 and 5.
No, you were right the first time. Okay. They have 2 wins. 2 wins.
2 wins.
2 wins.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. It is 7. 2 and 5. Excuse me. 2 and 5. And one of those was a 60-point triple-double, and they lost in double overtime.
Yeah.
That's how bad. Like this is like LeBron trying to carry the Cleveland Cavaliers when he was a 3-year guy, lead them to the finals, and then they got swept. This is the level Nikola Jokic is without Jamal Murray. He has to carry his entire unit, and they're still losing games. Jamal Murray better get back, otherwise there's a shot that, we're in a situation where they somehow plummet into the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
That would be horrible. Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching this clip of the Harvey Hour. If you want to watch the full show, you can by clicking the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to take the show with you on the go, it is available wherever you get your podcast. We go live here on YouTube every single Tuesday and Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, so make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification bell to get notified whenever we upload a video and whenever we go live.